if you can have some kind of visual representation of your film that you can turn into a stamp, it's great. It just helps tie everything together.
What were you thinking about earlier?
I have made a resolution. Do you think when bad things happen to people, we should just let it go? Like if someone's a bully, do they get away with it?
Where'd you get that hat?
I made it.
I like you. I don't know why, but I do.
What are you, conspiring? Do you have friends now, Holly?
Are we friends? But I am awake. I am seeing the world again for the first time in a long time.
And, resolute well, Holly.
People should not be allowed to get away with things. They should not.
Everybody, JennyMarie! So, Jenny. Jenny. Let's talk about Holly. I think let's just dive right into that character. What do you think is the appeal of a character like Holly?
I don't know, this whole thing, it wasn't so much about just like acting for me. It was like the arc of the story about this girl that comes to something late in life that sort of makes her like happy.
The catharsis of
yeah, and when she finally starts to like blossom later, like I felt resonate with me as I was making this movie. I never produced anything before. It was like I can do this. I'm doing this. It's happening.
I can blossom into a murderer.
Well, I mean, it was similar. That like when you're an actor, you're pretty powerless. I mean, you're at the whim of someone to cast you, and then once you're there, you don't get to make any decisions about anything. You don't get to decide what you wear. All you can decide is your performance. That is all you get. When you are producing, you get to decide everything. And it was amazing to have all that power and to be surrounded by people that I trusted that were helping me. Like, the key to it is to get people that are smarter than you, that know better.
So you designed with the Quiet Girls Guide to Violence. Oh, wait. Let me, hold on.
Oh, yeah. I was gonna throw them.
Yeah. Because this is gonna go into my next question.
Where are the t-shirts I gave you to get?
They're right over there. I'm gonna throw them out. I'm gonna chuck them into the audience. Okay, so as you can see, she made an amazing. She created an entire platform with this movie. And you designed a successful branding with the project. I mean, how do you go about creating a look for the intellectual property that you come up with?
My background is in design, and I worked for video games for a long time. And I worked at places like Rockstar Games in New York City, right. And I kind of always built it as if it was a franchise, because I know how to work on franchises. And so I'm like, it's a little short film, but let's just pretend it's going to be like an empire. I didn't do it all by myself. I got like really talented people to help me. Our poster artist was Phil Noto, who does covers for Marvel and Dark Horse and DC Comics. And so he did a really cool drawing of Holly, and then Tara McPherson did a sticker. Holly, as drawn by Tara McPherson, who's like this super famous, awesome artist who happens to be my buddy, so I exploited her. I think that anybody that has a film that has some kind of aesthetic, like, you know, it's like any kind of icon from like a baseball bat, we use that, you know. If you can have some kind of visual representation of your film that you can turn into a stamp, it's great. It just helps tie everything together. And as this was my first film, Carly, I Feel You Girl, it's the same experience. I'm tired of it. So.
Which your movie's similarities. Your movie's another movie giving women a voice.
Yeah, even quiet ones. They don't. I tell people the name, especially women, their eyes light up. I don't know. We're all kind of evil a little bit or something. We're just like
emotional.
See the light in these women's eyes. They don't see. Okay, they don't know what the movie is. They're like, I love it. I love it. And a lot of it had to do with the people involved.
The talented people.
The talented, the very talented. Raphael Ruiz, who directed the movie, it would not have happened without Raphael. I had this idea, I wanted to do it, I told people, and he was like, yeah, great. And then I told Raphael, and he was like, okay, let's do it.
And the idea spawned from Project Rant.
Yeah, there's this web series in Austin called Project Rant, I guess some of you are familiar, where it takes, it's not running anymore, but you can still see episodes at projectrant.com. It's amazing. They take these rants from Craigslist and have them dramatized by actors as monologues. And a lot of times it's just like an actor on a seamless background saying something like, to the asshole whose dog shits in my lawn, or something like that. Raphael was like a guest director, and we shot this one called Bully, and we shot it differently. We made it very cinematic. I was sitting in the car in this parking lot of Mopac, and it was cold. I have a cup of tea and glasses, and this is a real rant. Like, this was a real person's rant from Craigslist, and it was something about how she had been kind of overlooked in high school. She was just a very studious girl who kept to herself, but she was teased by these bullies for being a virgin, which she didn't think was a bad thing. But one day she's pursued by them home after school, and she says,
"School?" The prick comes up behind me with a bunch of his friends and asks me to give him some head. So I picked up a chunk of asphalt on the side of the road and chucked it at him. They never...
And you can tell that she liked that she did that. And then she goes on to say that even though she had to go to the principal's office, she ultimately got away with it because they said that they deserved it. And you can tell that she liked that. And then at the end of the rant, she says,
"The reason people are bullies is because they have low self-esteem and because they think they're invincible."
And then I reach into the back seat and I grab a baseball bat and get out of the car.
Sometimes you have to take them down a notch.
And usually on these rants, like most of the time, people are just saying, it's YouTube, you know? People are like, nice tits or whatever.
They're brutal. YouTube people are brutal.
They're just mean. Like, I couldn't even read most of the comments on rants I was in because they were just so mean. And then this one was just way different. Everybody was like, whoa, what the fuck was that?
I would have done that shit.
Yeah, or they were just like, what is this? This looks like a trailer for a movie I want to see. I mean, there was obviously like an audience for it, you know, people wanted to know more about her, people were frightened of her, people were like, yeah, like, people got into it, and we're always completely positive. It feels like a wide open world, like it could be a comic book, it could be a series, and that's what we're doing right now, we're trying to get it developed as a series. It was all Raphael and I knowing exactly what we wanted to achieve.
Can you tell me a little bit about your process for screenwriting and any wise words as an actor who's writing, you know, tired of waiting for shit to
just fucking do it, right? No, hard. Like, you know, I have to go. Raphael was like, he did all the heavy lifting. Raphael can come up with content with, I mean, you give him 5 minutes, he'll write a feature film. And he's amazing. So Raphael basically would come back with it. He came with the story structure. I came with more like visual stuff, and basically he did all the story stuff. His first draft he co-wrote with T-Lynn McCusker, who came up with the performance art piece idea. But then Kelly Bland, who was our amazing actress in that role, she basically wrote all of that material, and then we shot that completely separate. Like, we shot the entire performance 10 minutes long, which we used as a Kickstarter reward. Like, if you want to see it, you will not be able to unsee it. But it's there. Yeah, if you go to the Quiet Girls Facebook page and send me a message, I'll send you links to let you watch it because it's amazing. It is so gross and awesome.
For those who don't know Kelly was the girl that came on Byron Brown with whipped cream.
Yep. And I also pretty much rewrote all the dialogue, because Raphael's dialogue was basically a service of the story, and then I would rewrite it as an actor to make it more like actory, you know, something that you want to do. And then people improv, like Johnny, the hospital, it was like a nightmare, so it was like, oh my god, quit saying funny shit, I'm supposed to be pissed at you. He called me so many things before he called me Raggedy Ann.
Yeah, we went through quite the series with that scene. It was amazing, just like her film is amazing. JennyMarie, Jemison, The Quiet Girl's Guide to Violence.